Funny thing is, they had a dummy and they had me, and people were confused. Which is a dummy, which is a real guy. And it was fun. It's fun to do that, Doctor Who. And we're talking about 1976 now. And I had a great time, and I thought Tom Baker, in my opinion, was the best Doctor.
Naturally.
That's, son. Wow. I think I'm going to stand.
Okay.
I'll stand, at least they can see me.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Fire it away, man.
Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. How's the con?
Thank you for having me.
How's the con treating you so far?
Excellent.
Nice.
Always.
I'd like to ask about, you have such an amazing career. Amazing. I'd like to start at the beginning. Because you started off as an accountant, going to school for accounting, and you went to comedy school. First of all, how does one get into comedy school? And secondly, what did your parents think about that transition?
Wow. First of all, when I said to my dad, I want to be a comedian, and he said to me, it's a joke. So that's what I started, and I gave up accountancy because I kept failing in taxation.
Oh, that'll do it.
Company law. It was too boring. So I said to my dad, I want to go to the drama school. So I quit drama school after 3 months. That's when I started doing comedy.
So it was an actual comedy school, because that's not something that's really a thing. And yet you found it.
No. Well, when I went to comedy school, well, then again, how can you learn comedy?
Right. Right, exactly.
Either you're funny or you're funny. So that was it. I started, I got my agents through there, and the rest is history.
So you started doing stand-up.
Yes.
This is back in the 70s.
Yes.
What was the stand-up scene like? This is in London?
Yes.
What was the stand-up scene like in London at the time?
Well, they got a different sense of humor.
Right, sure.
So, 70s was a different, sense of humor, but I did for 4 or 5 years.
How did you transition into acting then?
Well, I met my manager agents. They were there. Somebody gave me the card. I said, well, a month later, I called them. So I went and saw them. It was Noel Gay Agency, the management company. They represented people like David Frost and all big artists, I was in that kind of league at that time, And the first job they got me was Pink Panther Strikes Again with Peter Sellers.
Not a bad way to start your career.
I'm talking about 1975. And that was my first feature. The first job they got me television was New Avengers.
Also great.
So that's how it started, and I did Doctor Who, and the rest is history.
What was it like? You worked with some amazing directors. What was it like working with Blake Edwards?
Well, Blake Edwards was one of the, such a brilliant director. You know what Peter Sellers says to me? He said, I hate Blake Edwards. Sorry. And he said, we got nothing in common. I said, so why you work? He said, I do my job, he does his job, and that was it.
Wow. That's fascinating.
It was funny coming out of his, that he said,
right.
Exact words he said, I hate Blake Edwards.
You did not hate Blake Edwards, though.
No, hate is a very strong word.
Okay.
I don't hate anyone. I dislike, but I don't hate.
Fair enough. You transitioned into stunt acting, which is another fascinating turn. Where did you start doing stunt work?
Well, started in Australia. They couldn't find a stunt double for me, so I said I'll do it myself.
What project was that?
It's a movie called Roca and the Kid.
Okay.
And you can still do it on YouTube, whatever. We're talking about 1984. So.
Were you game? Or were you like, I'll just do this? Because I feel like that sounds dangerous.
Did, it is dangerous. I've done my collarbones, I've done my rotator cuff, and I said enough is enough, no more, I'd rather drink and fall rather than doing stunts. No, I'm just kidding.
Were you drawn to that then? Was that something you really enjoyed doing?
No, I'm just joking. Man, he believes whatever I say.
Oh, no. But was that a field that you enjoyed working in?
Well, I enjoy working. Work is work. Whether you do stunt work, your acting work, it's all good.
Right. Yeah. You have a unique appearance.
Thank you.
I think that's safe to say, and it's benefited you quite a bit. At what point did you realize, okay, my stature can work to my advantage?
I still think I'm 6'4". I look in the mirror. I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, how tall I am. And the mirror doesn't reply. And when the mirror started talking, and he said, you've been lying so much to me. And it's hard to talk to you. You keep talking. You're 21. Who you think you're kidding?
But it's worked well for you.
Of course it is. You talk to the mirror, mirror doesn't reply, and that's the one thing, But then in mirror,
Your career has spanned generations. I know I grew up with you watching NeverEnding Story. That's where I was familiar with you from. But just, please. Oh, my Lord.
Thank you. Yeah.
But my daughter grew up with you watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So have you found, again, yes, please. Have you found a fan base that is generational now? Are you seeing a second, third generation of fans coming to you?
They do, actually. I don't know what generation, but they keep coming. From NeverEnding Story to Charlie to Star Trek, Star Wars.
You've gotten your feet wet in just about every film franchise there is right now. You got Transformers, you got Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. Have you found there are particular people from different fan bases that are recognizing you more than others?
They do, actually. I'm lucky, to work on three biggest franchises.
Yeah.
You got Doctor Who. You got almost a NeverEnding Story.
Yeah.
And Star Wars, Star Trek.
How did you get? Can you just get into a little bit how you got into Star Wars? Because that's an impressive one too. How did the Star Wars thing come about for you?
Well, they were looking. They said to me, "I'm too tall to play Yoda." That made my day. And they said to me, "Can you walk on the knees?" I said, "Oh, I'll try." They gave me the knee pads. Right. So I did the walking Yoda, which was good.
Right.
We're talking about 1978, 79 now. Things were different at that time.
Sure, yeah. Before I go on, I just want to. Does anyone have any questions for Deep? Okay, perfect. So we have a mic. Perfect. I don't want to take up too much of your time with my dumb questions.
Can you hear me?
Hmm?
What was it like working on Doctor Who, playing Mr. Sin and then playing the Ambassador with all the makeup and everything?
Funny thing is, they had a dummy and they had me, and people were confused. Which is a dummy, which is a real guy. And it was fun. It's fun to do that, Doctor Who. And we're talking about 1976 now. And I had a great time, and I thought Tom Baker, in my opinion, was the best Doctor.
Naturally.
That's your answer. I hope I answered your question.
I grew up with. I know a lot of people from previous generation grew up with the Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory with the Charlie the Chocolate Factory story, but I grew up with the 2005 film. So you playing the Oompa Loompas is like a huge childhood thing for me. Do you have any anecdotes or stories from on set when you were filming that? Because it seemed like a really fun role to film.
When Tim Burton asked me to do Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, He said to me, he'll be playing 4 Oompa Loompas. 4 turned into be 7. He said, I want 7 people to dance with you wearing your mask. So they couldn't find people to dance with me, so they brought in the kids. We shot this in London for a year. We're talking about 2004 now. And I saw these kids, dancers. They put me to shame. They did. And I turned around to Tim. I said, this is not going to work. And he said to me, why? I said, first, you got to send them to school. Second, you put my mask onto them, they're not going to hit the marks. So he said to me, now what? I said, I'll do it myself. He said, I got to give you a camera test. You go 7 this way, 7 that way. Pick up a song that's not in the script. So I picked a song, Tom Jones song. It's not unusual to have fun. So I did that. I did 7 this way, 7 that way. He said, come and have a look when I did the first 7. But he said to me, it has to be equal distance. I asked him, why equal distance? He said, well, the Oompa Loompas are like a regiment. No comedy. It's like an army of Oompa Loompas. So that's how that started. I did the 7. I said, let me do the other 7. When I did that, he said, can I have a look at it? I said, yeah, man. So he said, what do you think? He's asking me. And I said, well, I could have done better. And he said to me, no, it's great. So that's how it all started. And I did 168 individual Oompa Loompas.
Wow. Who's next?
So I know that you worked on stunt performing, like you said, for the movies you said, but the one I remember you did stunt performing was for some of the movies Leprechaun.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, how did it feel to work with another legend like Warwick Davis?
God bless his soul, wherever he is. Absolutely amazing guy. You know, when they asked me to about a stunt double, because I was wearing high heels. You know, and it's difficult to walk on, high heels. And it was great. Warwick Davis was an amazing actor. Working with him, I first met him in 1981 on Star Wars thing. And then the Leprechaun thing happened. So it was good.
Yeah.
Hello. First of all, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Second off, who is your favorite person you've ever worked with out of all the years that you've worked?
You're asking me if I like BMW or Mercedes. They've been all great. They all been amazing actors and actresses, producers and directors. And since you asked me that, the favorite guy that I've ever worked, Tim Burton. I mean, as a director, as a good friend, done 4 movies with him. Absolutely amazing. That's the only director that has done animation and features. He did 3 times together. I said, what are you trying to do to yourself, Tim? You're doing animation and feature both together at the same time. He did 3 times. And he said, finally, he's not going to do any more because he said, I'm going to listen to you. Which is, so I hope I answered your question. Tim Burton. Tom.
Over here.
What scenes did you play as Yoda in Empire Strikes Back?
When it's in the forest, you walk with Luke Skywalker and all that. That was the only one, yeah. So. No, I don't want to say anything. But the thing is, I remember they were doing filming Outland, which I did with Sean Connery. Owen was the director. I think I got it wrong. I think Peter Hyams was the director. Yeah, Peter. Yeah. So I remember Sean Connery was a very temperamental guy. And they brought him on the set earlier, and he turns around he said, Peter, when you're ready, you call me, and he went back, storming back to the dressing room again. So.
Wow. Right there, sir.
Out of all the movies that you've played, which ones was your favorite acting in?
What's your favorite movie you've acted in?
They're all great, I can't pick and choose.
All of them are great?
Of course they are.
Okay.
All of them are good. All of them are. But since you asked me, I think the hardest movie that I've done physically and mentally was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, I'm not a dancer or a singer, but he was scared that I can't be able to sing and dance.
Right.
And keep the equal distance. So that was the hardest movie that I've done. I just asked them to give me the letters up in front. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, Oompa Loompa, number 1, B, C, D, and then on the floor as well. So at least I know what I'm doing.
Well, you looked like you knew what you were doing because it worked out pretty well.
It did, yeah. I hope it did. So.
Do we have any questions right now? No? Okay. Oh, we do. Perfect.
Hi. Do you like movies and TV? I know you have both been blessed to do both. Do you like TV more or film more for you?
I like both. Work is work. Television features, they're two different things. You're saying if I like donuts or if I like hot dogs. I like both. It's good. Television, they move faster. Features, they take their sweet time. And so I like both, I can't tell the difference. Work is work.
Over there, sir.
Working on Star Trek, playing opposite of Simon Pegg, was there any of that improv? Because I know he likes to do that stuff on set, if the director would allow it.
When they first asked me to do, they were looking for me, and I met J.J. Abrams. And he said, we want you. Of course, I said, I'll work on Star Trek. And they had lines. I had lines. But J.J. said to me, he spoke to Steven Spielberg, and he said to him, Kinzer doesn't look good when he talks. Lines. So they took the lines off. So that happened, So, by the way, they won an Oscar for the makeup that the guys did on Kinzer.
I'm sorry. What was that process like? Your prosthetics.
But the thing is, it were two people making you up. It took them 2 hours to do that, and eventually they got one person making up. It's like hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it claustrophobic for you?
No, it's not. You get, there were 5 pieces that they put on you, and it was difficult to eat.
Sure, I imagine.
Because so you got to respect the guys that work so hard that you don't screw up the makeup. So.
Well, we've taken up enough of your time. So I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, and thank you for having me here. And I find Buffalo very cold here, man.
This is nothing.
Yeah?
Wait a couple months.
Wait a couple of months? All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you for watching this video. I am Invader Zim, and I traffic in doom. And so, if you do not subscribe to this channel, you will have doom that befalls you by me, Invader Zim.